Randy Kovitz.
That's me.
I don't even know where to begin with you, man, because I was looking at your resume. You have done it all. Film, here in Pittsburgh, Los Angeles, television, Broadway, with the likes of James Earl Jones, John Malkovich, commercials, theater, directing, teaching. Are you content?
No, never. Why do you think I do so many things? No, I'm chasing fulfillment with all these things, but...
It's a good way to put it.
Yeah. I grew up in Southern California, actually. Okay. But I was born in D.C., moved around a lot, and when I was about 8, we landed in Southern California. It all began with the Beatles, actually. My performance career started lip-syncing Beatles songs with cardboard instruments, touring my elementary school in 4th grade. And I enjoyed music a lot, but then when I was 14, I was cast in my first play, which was Guys and Dolls. And the moment I walked on stage, I really did know that this is what I wanted to do, and I have been an actor ever since. I've averaged, 2 or 3 shows a year, at least. Some years I would do, the biggest year was my junior year at Carnegie Mellon when I was a student there, which is how I got to Pittsburgh, by the way. And I did 11 shows that year. I just think Pittsburgh's a great, great place. The city is very, very encouraging to artists. That's the positive part. The part that makes it difficult is that there are a lot of artists here. There are a lot of theater companies. There is a lot of competition for the audience. I mean, the artists who live here are fantastic. And some friends of mine who actually have an arts organization and sponsored me for a show that I wrote and did a few years ago, which was kind of a music video spoken word hybrid called Happy to Be Here that I did down at the Bricolage space. They gave me a space to work in, and they had other artists coming through who were so impressed with Pittsburgh that they decided that the initials PGH for Pittsburgh stand for Personal Goal Haven. And that's how I look at it. I've come here and I've accomplished a lot of personal goals. I've been able to direct movies, write movies. I've learned how to edit. I've learned how to do sound design. It's just a great place for somebody who really wants to grow, and that's why I like it.
Now, you did mention fight choreography, and this is a big part of what keeps you busy. And I think that a lot of folks who might not be behind the curtain in theater might not realize that you can't just get on stage and swing a sword around or your fists. I mean, there is a lot that goes into. I mean, there's a reason why it's called choreography.
It is a very specific craft, and it requires a lot of work and thought to make it not only look real, because looking real is fine, but to help tell the story, to make sure that it fits in with the style of the play, to make sure that it's not just about the fight, but about advancing the plot. And the very first priority always is to keep the actors safe.
Yes.
So,
what do you like to see in a good stage fight?
I think I like to see the characters expressed through the fight. There's nothing worse than seeing some old man, sort of walking on stage with a cane and the sword comes out and he turns into Errol Flynn. He needs to fight like his character fights. I like to see a believable fight that advances the story, reveals character, and is thrilling on top of that.
But you've got a great balance between your on-camera work and your stage work. What do you feel is the fundamental difference between acting for the camera versus acting for the stage?
Well, I didn't say this, but I quote this a lot in this very room where I actually teach. On stage, you can give a performance. On camera, you must have an experience.
And, we should mention, too, that, yes, you do teach courses in acting for the camera here at Mosser Studio, which is where we're shooting the interview today.
I teach here. I also teach the seniors at Carnegie Mellon. I teach acting for the camera for them. And then I teach directing to the film students at Point Park.
We will have the privilege here in Pittsburgh of seeing you in a one-man show, which will be performed at Pittsburgh Playwrights Theatre.
That's correct.
Produced by 12 Piers Theatre Company.
That's right. This is a solo show that I have been a bit obsessed with for a few years. It's called Underneath the Lintel. It's by Glenn Berger, who is perhaps most famous for being Julie Taymor's collaborator in writing Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark on Broadway.
Is that what brought you to this script?
No, actually, I had heard of it before Spider-Man, and I saw Glenn Berger do a reading of it in New York in 2009. He actually understudied the original production, and I met him afterwards, and I was blown away by this story. In a nutshell, it's the story of a reclusive Dutch librarian who discovers a library book that's been returned 113 years late. He becomes obsessed with the person who had this book and starts to follow clues that lead him all over the world, and he discovers connections to an ancient myth and ruins his life, but at the same time awakens his spirit. But it's a detective story. I usually don't love one-person shows, but this is really a play that pulls you along as the new discoveries emerge, and as the character and the audience find out this mystery. And I think it's a terrific piece, and I'm really looking forward to performing it.
Nervous?
Thrilling. I'm excited. I'm thrilled. I'll probably be nervous, but it's 80 minutes of me talking. But this material is very challenging. And it's a Dutch accent, which is a very obscure accent, and I've been working on that a lot.
Can you give us a little sample?
Well, Dutch is a little like German, only it's a little. Well, it's hard to say, but it's very formal. We have just so your viewers know, we have a Facebook page, Underneath the Lintel. There are several Underneath the Lintel pages because it's been done about 200 times around the world, but this is the Pittsburgh premiere. So if they go on Facebook to that page, or to 12peerstheater.org, they can get tickets and more information, and that would be great. Please come. I think you'll like it.
Yes, and you'll hear 80 minutes of this beautiful voice in Dutch accent.
But I'm doing it in a Dutch accent. It won't sound the same.
Any accent. You have a very rich tone. Now, if you're ever out at like a bar with a buddy who also does stage combat, you ever get the urge to be like, "Hey, come on, let's get going here."
Well, I have.
Now, for someone who has studied dialects, can you describe to me what the heck this Pittsburgh accent is? You know, I forget this, but you and I were in a show together.
Yes, we were. Full disclosure.
And in all the preparation I did for this interview, I actually had forgotten that until just recently.
And they basically... Uh-oh. Oh, excuse me, I'm going to have to get this.
Oh, yes. Agent calling.
Yes, hello? Yeah? What are you wearing? Nice.
Some agent.
Hey, Vince, I'm being interviewed right now on the show with Brian, and you're calling me right in the middle of the interview.
Vince Ventura?
Man. It's the producer of 12 Years. Say hi, Vince.
You gotta be kidding me.
I think he hung up.
Well,
I think he was like freaked out and hung up.
Well, I didn't even know this was a call-in show.
Well, it is now. The most interesting thing I think I did was One Life to Live. I did a fight between a guy and his evil twin. So this is the evil look. Right? Yeah.
I felt the evil.
I could feel your trembling.
Yes. I'm going to have a drink after
please
that.
do.